Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Salty Dog Podcast.
Let's get salty!
What is up, guys? I'm Clash, he's Dookie. Welcome to another salty episode of the Salty Dog Podcast.
Hey! It's been a while!
I know, it's been way too long.
We're
going on, we skipped 2 episodes.
Skipped 2 episodes, yeah. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, I was in Florida on vacation, so it was just pretty much impossible to coordinate doing the show. But I'm back in California. I'm actually in the comfort of my own home, so that's probably why my mic sounds worse.
Yeah, it sounds alright.
But here we are. Here we are.
Yeah, there was just no time to do the show when he was here between all of the cold ones that were being cracked with
cracked
all
open
the boys.
So many cold ones with so many boys were cracked open. Good lord.
Yeah, it was awesome having you here, man. It was
yeah, dude. I had a good ass time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when you leave Florida for a bit, then everything's a little bit more exciting when you come back.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and we got to go to the HCT, so...
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was good times.
We can finally report on how the whole Buffalo Wild Wings HCT went.
Yeah.
Even though that was a good bit ago now.
It was. Well, I guess like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weekends ago.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed to be handled super well, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, I had no doubts. I mean, with, our coordinator, Amy, who we've talked about all the time on here, of course, she did awesome, and she had... There were, our Buffalo Wild Wings, I don't know how different it is, or, if they're all, kind of homogenous, like CVS's, they're all the same inside or whatever, but there's, a raised up part, where just, a couple tables can go in our Buffalo Wild Wings. And there's, you have to go up, 4 steps to get up there. And they had that whole little section just kind of, just for the 2 pro players that were there actually playing in the, on the stream and stuff. And they had, a cool backdrop of, the inn with the fireplace.
Yeah.
Which is actually, we pointed out, a screen grab from World of Warcraft.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of funny.
It's pretty funny.
But yeah, it was just fun,
Yeah, it was just a good time. Yeah, I'm trying to think, actually, if the Buffalo Wild Wings here that I go to a lot, if they have that, raised up little platform. Because I know exactly what you're talking about, but if they do, I haven't seen it. So I don't know if that's just a cool feature of that B-dubs. But
maybe it wasn't even a B-dubs at first or something, and it just had that place in it. But yeah, there was a section off part for the players. I know a whole lot of the pro players didn't end up playing at Buffalo Wild Wings, but we had a couple there, which was cool. And then the whole rest of kind of the area in between the bar had some tables, and that's where most of the people who were just there to watch and hang out were. And there were beers had and wings had, and just a good time.
Yeah, always a good time. I mean, I just like going there because I like to eat crap a lot. But not that it's bad, but it's horrible for you. So,
Yeah. Well, your trip here was not good for either of our health.
Oh yeah, we took at least a year off of both of our lives.
I was sad to see you go, but my liver was like,
oh god, that guy! Glad that guy's out of here.
Oh man, but it's it was a good time.
I would do it again, for sure.
Yeah, me too. I feel like not as many people were there though, is for just the regular fireside gathering we went to out of BS.
Yeah, I mean I feel like that's to be expected though, because fireside's about the community, and the HCT is more come watch these dudes who are really good. So I think you have to be more invested in a competitive sort of environment to want to go to that versus fireside, where it's most of the people I feel like we interacted with were more casual than us, Yeah,
I agree. And I felt the same way for people that showed up this time even.
Yeah, it's nice when people don't feel excluded from a competitive game like Hearthstone where it's easy, because a lot of those communities can be toxic and, the player base can just be really elitist and just shitty.
Yeah, if you don't know all the lingo and just stuff going on, then
it was different. It was a different scene a little bit this time, but still, they ran it well.
They did. Yeah, it was, I still don't know for sure if it's, the best answer for competitive play. I can't really say. I don't know how the pro players that were playing there felt about the setting themselves. And I can say that I don't feel like a lot of the people who weren't there playing were paying much attention to the stream that was going on they were broadcasting it, but we didn't have sound. It was hard to hear. And I just felt like not a lot of people were watching it.
Right. So. Yeah, that was... I remember we were we brought that up, the whole, why, if this is the thing that's going on today, why don't we switch the sound over to the stream?
Yeah.
But then, people are like, you expect us to turn the sports down?
Yeah, I remember, all we could hear the whole time was kind of what was it, a baseball game or something going on? Yeah, I can't remember.
It's this is what's happening. That you get, 99.9% of the time here, it's going to be sports. So maybe esports for a few hours.
Yeah, but it still ended up being fun in general.
Yeah,
it felt like a fireside gathering. It didn't really feel like an HCT. It wasn't all super serious, which I didn't expect that. But
there was an aura of seriousness around where the people who were in the tournament were playing, up there it was the serious bubble, but everywhere else was just whatever, let's have a good time.
Yeah, but it's always fun to just meet people who like to play Hearthstone, meet other players. It was cool. We met Garrett from Angry Chicken, talked to him for a bit. Yeah, he was really cool.
Yeah, he's a nice dude.
Yeah.
And he's from Florida, right? So
yeah, and so the other. Another huge Hearthstone podcast, Value Town, Chan Man, the host of that, is also from Florida.
Yeah.
Which it's just kind of what? Yeah. I don't know. If you live in Florida, you have a Hearthstone podcast, I guess.
But it's good. Good time.
Good times. But so let's move up a little bit more contemporary. What's been going on this week for you?
Let's see. I started playing Hearthstone again.
Oh, yeah.
Because after the HCT, when I was in Florida, I didn't really have time.
Yeah, I remember I logged in, and, I saw your name there. Great. You weren't online or anything, and it tells you when the last time somebody logged on was, and it was last logged in 6 days ago, and I'm this guy.
I haven't gone that long without playing Hearthstone in a good while.
Yeah.
But it was fine, just taking a little break from it and then, kind of coming back and seeing where things were at, which it wasn't drastically different, but it was cool. It's different enough right now. Mm-hmm. But I guess we'll talk about the state of the meta a little bit later.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Well, I actually, I've been playing a decent amount. I haven't really been laddering. I'm kind of, I guess, at the point where I got to last season, where I think I'm going to just eventually get to every season, where I feel like just playing Arena. It just kind of, that itch finally gets to me, and I'm bored enough with standard ranked to just be all right, I want to do something different. And I actually managed to pull off my third Lightforge key. I got my third 12 wins.
Damn, dude.
With Priest again.
You're killing it.
It's been Priest, Rogue, Priest so far for me.
Yeah. No, you clearly have an intimate knowledge of your favorite class.
Yeah, I know how to play it, and it's so frustrating to play against Priest that I feel a little evil when I play it.
Yeah.
I'm just I know what's going through your mind right now.
Yeah.
But
Priest is just you have the capability to generate more value from your minions than any other class. So
yeah, and those they always like to say tricks, those tricks cards that Priest has, the main offender is Potion of Madness by far. All of a sudden, as soon as you see you're queued against a Priest, you're can I play anything that has 2 or less attack? How you always have to consider how devastating it would be to you.
Right.
Potion of Madness. Usually you have to play right into it because you can't just hold back every 2 or less attack minion you can.
You're I don't have these cards.
But yeah, the deck was pretty strong, and I had my widest margin of victory. I have not gone 12-0 yet. I was so close, but I did my first 12-1.
Jeez.
So, yeah, one loss.
That is crazy.
I was pleased.
Yeah, I would be. Did you get any good rewards? I always want to know what...
Dude, the rewards are not that good, man.
No, it doesn't seem worth it.
I mean, it's worth it for sure. Like, well, I mean, you get a return. Yeah.
Yeah, but it still doesn't seem like a good enough reward for how fucking ridiculously difficult that is.
I want to say, if I had to give, like, just from what I've seen, like an average of what you get for rewards, I'd say about 250 gold, a pack, of course, because you're always going to get a pack, and sometimes you get a second pack, but that's pretty rare. So I'd say 250 gold, a pack, and like a golden common for sure, and then either a golden rare or epic. And
never.
What?
Never like a legendary.
I've never seen one. I don't know if it's possible.
I mean, it doesn't have to be golden, but it would still be cool if they're like, here's a legendary.
I would appreciate at least a legendary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. Or you know, just a little bit more. You know, I'm not saying you have to give me the whole world, but getting 12 wins is pretty hard. It's pretty stressful. And you know, I think they could stand to give you a little bit extra from what they give you.
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah. But other than that, I thought the Tavern Brawl was pretty cool this week. The hallucination thing. I can see by the look on your face you don't agree.
I didn't understand why it existed at all, really.
Well, I was just
I don't know, like,
what do you mean?
I don't know, sometimes it seems like with the Tavern Brawl they're just like, we're just gonna like randomize some element of this and then be like, all right, have fun, guys. And this one just seemed, I don't know, like, what was the difference between that and, you know, portals or whatever? Like, it's just high rolling. Like, it's just who's gonna get the best discovery choices.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would be like trying to discover stuff for my opponent, and like I'm trying to get minions and I can't get any minions, and then they get minions, and it was just a really bad handful of games, and I knew I was just getting screwed over. Like, I knew this wasn't my fault for the most part. I mean, I'm sure some little bits. Actually, what was my fault was playing Shaman and giving my opponent the overpowered Shaman cards.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't until I switched to Warlock that I finally won a game. So
yeah, Warlock struck me right away as the best class to play as. I mean, and I definitely think it has the best hero power for that, because you can, like, if you get some low value discovers, you're not stuck with like crap cards in your hand. You can just get some more hallucinations. But the main thing about that is, like, the card choices like that weren't hallucinations in the Warlock deck were really bad. Like Feeding Time or Frenzy or whatever that's called, that's just a bad card in general. And then you have, they put Demon Wrath in the Warlock deck, and they're hallucinating your cards, so they're playing demons, and you're hallucinating their cards, so you don't have demons. And you're like, I'll just wipe my own board, and yours is fine. Like, I could never use Demon Wrath.
I actually got it off. I can't remember how. I played something that let me discover. Oh, I remember. This was crazy. I was playing against a priest, and I hallucinated Free from Amber. So I played Free from Amber, and my choices were all pretty comparable. It was like an Arcane Giant, and then there was the Demon that's a 7/9, and if you have no duplicates,
Cruel the Unshackled.
Yeah, it's Cruel. Yeah. So he ended up being my pick, because I was like, maybe I can, crack him out with some Demon Wrath. And I drew it eventually, and I was like, okay, you're gonna die now, because this thing is huge. So, yeah, that was a fun little play.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it was all right. It's whatever. I mean, last week it was Randomonium again, which was a repeat, and this was just pretty much a random thing too. I don't know. I hope they do kind of come up with some more in-depth modes for Tavern Brawl in the future, but it's always something kind of fun to look forward to.
Roaming Otaku in the chat says Trump got a noggin fogger from Arena the other day.
Really? Okay, so it is possible.
It is possible. I don't know if it was golden, but still, let's,
Okay. Cool. Wow, that's crazy, because I've never, I mean, I've only gotten 3, but I've never seen a streamer open one either, so it's got to be really rare.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should crank that up a little bit.
I agree.
Anyway, that about does it for my week. So let's, there's some news. I mean, some of it might be a little bit older news, but we got to get to it at some point, so let's move on to that news segment.
What's happening? Gadgets and Gazette always gets the scoop.
Time is money, friend! Keep it quick, kid. I ain't got all day.
Alright, so obviously the biggest news in the game right now is Crip finally hit the disenchant button. Of course. That's what's really going on.
I didn't know. I mean, when you told me about that earlier, I was like, what? But it's actually really cool. So,
yeah, so I'm sure, mostly everybody knows who Crip is. Criparian. He's an arena streamer. He's like the biggest arena streamer, and he's amazing at it. He's always on the leaderboards. Usually number 1 or top 5 at least. And since he never plays constructed, like literally ever, all he does is play arena. He has no use for dust whatsoever. So he decided, I want to say it was like 3 years ago, that to stop pressing the disenchant button.
Yeah.
Because, he doesn't need the dust anyway. And just like a couple days ago, he finally decided to do it. And his disenchant button was 660,000 dust. And it's just like thousands and thousands of people showed up to watch him press this button, and unfortunately it was super underwhelming. It was hilarious because he hits the button and his game just freezes up for a solid minute, and he's just kind of like I don't know, and then his client crashes, the oops sprites.
God,
interrupted your connection.
Playful sprites, gotcha.
And then he logs back in, and he just has the dust.
Yeah.
It's oh man, everybody wanted to see this insane light explosion or something, but
yeah.
It was still really cool. When are you ever going to see somebody disenchant cards for 660,000 dust?
That is an absurd amount of
well
dust.
Over 1 million now.
Dust?
Bad. Yeah.
Jeez, because he just hasn't literally never spent.
He's an infinite arena player. He gets 12 wins all the time, and you just get dust as rewards for that.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it for the news. No,
that's
we're going to talk about patch 8.2.
Yeah.
Which came out a little bit ago, but it's still cool. We kind of talked about this once, because they released what it was going to do before the patch even hit. But we have deck copying now.
We get to live it. We get to experience it.
We're living in the new world now, folks.
It's fucking great. Because I didn't play for so long, and it came out while I was on a break.
Right.
And I logged on 2 days ago, and I was like, all right, let's get some quests done. So I had to build a deck for some class. I don't remember what it was, Shaman or something. And I went on Tempo Storm, and I was just like, all right, let me pull this window off to the side and pull my Hearthstone window over here and go through the cards one by one. And I'm building the deck, and then halfway through, I'm like, wait a second. That patch is out, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I found that copy button, and then I tabbed over to Hearthstone. It's like, do you want to paste this deck in? And I'm like, hell yeah, I do. And it, it filled it in, and then it was actually making my client bug out the day, when I was doing that. But then today it seemed like it fixed itself.
Oh, okay.
So
that's weird. Yeah, I actually haven't even messed with it yet, which is crazy. But
oh wow, it's awesome.
Yeah, I guess I haven't made a new deck since it hit. I've just been using what I've been using, and I've been doing arena. So
right.
But yeah, I need to check out some of that deck copying. That's just an awesome addition. Super cool.
Yeah,
to have
it's
it now.
it's
Finally.
so good.
Also, super cool to have is completing quests with friends. That's just cool. Whenever I see you on, I just want to challenge you. Just so
exactly.
Do a quest.
Do a quest. We could do that after the show. I'm not done with my quest, so
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
But remember when we were playing the other day, and I was playing you with a really weird warrior deck that had the Bloodhoof Brave in it, and I had inner rage in it and stuff. I don't know if you remember. Yeah.
It was a taunt warrior, but I guess it wasn't the quest.
I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was a deck made out of entirely warrior cards because I wanted to complete a play warrior card. Yeah. So I just I was like, I'm going to try to build the closest thing I think I can do with no neutral cards. Right. It actually worked out decently. But,
you know what class can pull that off with flying colors?
Mage.
Yes. I did that for that exact reason one time. I was like, oh well, I have to play a bunch of mage cards quest, so I'm just gonna use all mage cards, and it was just tempo mage. It was just awesome.
Yeah, you end up getting tempo mage basically. I mean, most every mage deck is almost like 90% mage cards. Just like throw in something here or there. Like freeze mage is like Alex Draza, and then a bunch of freeze effects.
Yeah, exactly.
But completing Quest for Friends. I mean, that's just something the game should have. You know, promoting more co-op play. Super cool. Some more minor things. Ranked win tracking past 500 is a thing now. It's just gonna keep track of how many wins you have.
Oh,
just in general. Cool. Yeah. So now you. Now,
I mean, that's weird that it did it stop. Yeah. I never looked, because once I got to 500, I was like, well, whatever.
Yeah, it just sat there at 500 out of 500. It was like that's it, you know. But I mean, there's no new rewards or anything. But I mean, you'll just know how many games you've won.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I want to know. I'm curious now.
There's that. I mean, it wasn't retroactive, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. So.
Well, we're gonna find out.
Okay.
But.
So here's another interesting little thing that I didn't know was added until I checked the patch notes. They actually are making some game boards exclusive to playing in Wild, which is super cool.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's obviously has no gameplay effect, but it also makes sense to do because, you know, it keeps the flavor of the current meta, like, consistent, you know? You're not, like... You know, fighting in Naxxramas when there are no Naxxramas cards.
Right. Yeah, and it makes it cool to go back to Wild because you're like, oh, I remember this board. You know, I haven't seen this in forever. Yeah. They need to really play up that like nostalgia. With Wild, and I think this is a good move for that.
It adds like an association to like, you know, between the game and like a place, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it does. It is retractive. I have
really? Oh wow. Okay.
Yep, I have 646 ranked paladin wins.
That's awesome. I've got to check how many priest wins I have now. It's going crazy with priest for a while.
Hear a really sad number?
What's that?
I have 42 ranked priest wins.
That does not surprise me at all. I'm surprised you have 42 ranked priest wins.
Me too. It was the Dragon Priest days.
Oh, yeah, you loved Dragon Priest. Yeah, that's right. Dragon Priest was pretty cool.
That deck was fun as hell.
Yeah, it's just like big minions, on board, value, it's just happening. It's crazy.
Yeah. What else?
Well, I cannot substantiate this claim I'm about to make, but because all they say about mobile in the patch notes is that they made it easier to like put spells back in your hand so you don't shoot yourself in the face with spells as much, which that's great. But I don't know if anybody else has had this experience, and I think you said you haven't played on your phone since the patch.
No,
but
I haven't. I played on my phone.
I feel like the game runs so much smoother on my phone now. Like, it's like night and day almost. Like, I went back into the game, and like as I drag cards out, or just like, or like with spells, like Lightning Storm, like a lot of graphics and like lights going on the screen, everything is just so smooth now.
Didn't you get a new phone?
No, I mean on my new phone, like since pre-patch with my new phone. Yeah, I don't mean like my old phone to my new phone. No.
I don't know. I thought maybe you just like weren't thinking about the fact that
No, it's not that. It's not that for sure. But it's just like the frame rate just like is jacked up or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like it looks really smooth.
Interesting.
Yeah. Check it out. Next time. I'll ask you again next time. Maybe you'll agree with me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll play on my phone.
Yeah, you do that.
This is an interesting little tidbit. Apparently, Nepeta says that Blood Mage Thalnos and Deathwing got new legendary
Oh, yeah, they did.
entrances.
Yeah, I haven't seen Deathwings, but I have seen Blood Mages.
I'm actually currently making a druid deck with ramp cards so that I can put both of them in it and see what they are, because
we can play it at the end.
That'd very curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to see it, like, this deck isn't going to be good.
Are you sure? Maybe you're about to break the meta right now. You never know.
Oh, shit, now I have to try to. Now this is my goal.
But as far as patch 8.2, that's basically all they really added. But there have been some rumblings on Reddit from the Brode, who chimed in talking about problems and possible fixes to ranked mode and the potential of tournament mode being added, which is cool to hear him talking about, but maybe not so cool because I kind of feel like they're not going to do it.
Tournament mode?
Yeah, which I'll get to why I don't think it's going to happen in a second, but he started out his post by saying that he thinks that ranked mode has 4 problems right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to read them word for word here. We got top end players have to grind too much to get fun matches each month. So, I mean,
what does fun matches mean?
I think it basically means to where they're not playing scrubs anymore. Like, basically, when they're back in Legend, that's when it's fun, because...
that was just a nice way of saying...
Yeah, basically. It's like, they have to go all the way back to rank 15, which, I mean, if you're, like, rank 1 Legend and you have to go back to rank 15, that does seem pretty stupid.
Yeah, you should probably start at, like, 5.
Honestly, yeah. Like, I mean, if you've made it to Legend, like, you kind of deserve to be... Or, like, you can even divide Legend up into brackets. Like, if you're above 1,000 in Legend, you start at 5 or something.
Yeah.
If you're Legend, you start at 10. Just like below 1,000 Legend or something.
Like, clearly you're not a scrub, but, like...
Right.
You didn't get lucky and end up super high Legend.
No.
That just doesn't happen.
I've been trying to get to Legend 5 ever, and I still haven't made it. Definitely not a luck thing. You gotta be so consistent. But, so that's number 1. Number 2 is low-end players have very little progression, just a few wins, and then they get stuck at rank 20 to 17, which he always likes to remind people, because I think it bears repeating, that this is the vast majority of people who play this game. Like, you might have this image, because all the streamers are Legend, all streamers are going to end up being Legend at some point in the season, so it may end up seeming like disproportionate that people are higher rank, but like the majority of people who play this game play it on mobile first of all, and they stay between ranks 20 and 17, which is nuts. Like, rank 15 is actually like something like an insanely high percentile in this game. It doesn't feel like it.
No,
I think that's kind of a problem in and of itself.
I agree.
Just like not feeling accomplished unless you hit Legend.
Yeah. I don't feel good about how I did in a season if I don't get into like single digit, Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'm just like, I didn't really get anywhere.
Right, and the perception is like you just don't even mention it if you didn't make it to Legend. Like, your rank didn't matter if you didn't make it to Legend.
But then at the end, they're like, that puts you in the top 10%, and I'm like, oh, well, that's pretty good then.
Yeah, rank 1 is like the top 0.1%.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense, that so many players like just don't even feel like they can get past rank 17, and they're just like, why? So then that kind of leads into number 3, which is new players who enter ranked get crushed hard, and it says after a pretty good experience in casual. Which, I mean, that's the general progression. Like, you start playing, you unlock all the cards, playing against the Innkeeper and all the solo missions and stuff, and then you're like, I'm going to go into casual at first. And then you're like, I think I got it, and you go into ranked, and it's just like, no.
Yeah. I can actually comment on points 2 and 3 there, because, like I said, I started back up playing this week, and I started at rank 20, because I wasn't very high rank before, and I'm at 17 right now, and everybody, remember how I said earlier, I haven't lost a game? It's every deck I've been playing has been, not to be mean, but kind of scrubby.
Right. And like, not a tier deck.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I feel bad because I blow these people out, and I'm just like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it literally was from 20 to 17 that was happening.
Congratulations, Dookie. You just made a whole bunch of people quit the game.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I mean, it is a problem.
Yeah.
Because it sucks for players, but it's also probably bad for business. You know.
True. Yeah. No. Definitely. If people don't feel incentivized to keep playing, then absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, I think that's very, very true.
Yeah, I think a lot of this could be fixed by not falling as far back. You know, going back to number one. Like, not even just applying that same logic to top-end players, but just, like, you shouldn't fall as far back in rank at the end of the season. Like, like I guess up the bonus stars, basically, because then, like, you know, I'm not falling from rank 2 all the way back to rank 17 and playing against these people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm falling back to, like, 12 or something.
Because rank 2 is really good. Like, clearly you know what you're doing.
Right, and I shouldn't be blowing, you know, people who are just queuing in for their first couple games, you know, blowing them out. So.
Yeah. I agree. It's... I guess they, you know, obviously they have to do the seasons, and they have to make people fall back in rank in order to make people play. No one's gonna. I mean, people will still play, but like, it definitely is a motivating factor to be like, I got a ladder, I got to get back up there.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're looking at it. I mean, I don't have the answer to how to fix it. I mean, maybe it's more bonus stars, maybe it's longer seasons, like 2-month seasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
But another issue, which is kind of like point 4, which I feel is like a more all-encompassing issue of just ranked and just playing Hearthstone in general, is doing the same thing over and over again each month feels like a grind.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely true. It's just like, just trying to get to Legend each month, no matter who you are, if you're a streamer, you're a pro player, or whatever, it's kind of lame. Like, especially after we're in like month 2 of the same expansion, like the decks are pretty solidified. You know what you're going up against. It's not like the fun creative mode anymore. It's just like, man, I gotta do this again.
Yeah, it is very discouraging, because especially when you're somebody that doesn't have a lot of time to play.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna hit Legend, because I'm never gonna be able to play that much. And maybe longer seasons are the answer. Because if I knew, like, all right, I got 2 months, like, let me get there, and you know, they could balance the entire ranking system around it being 2 months, but if I just knew I had more time, I'd be so much more motivated, because I would feel like my effort wouldn't be totally wasted, you know?
Don't lie, you'd be like, I have 2 months, I'll do it all in the last week.
Yeah. Probably accurate.
No, I know what you're saying, though. I would feel the same way, because I already feel like, I'm thinking about it right now, and we're at the 8th of June right now, and I'm like, it's a little late to get started.
That's a week.
Like, I feel like it's a little late to get started right now.
Yeah.
It's like
that's a whole week. There's you know, there's 3 weeks left. That's a quarter of the month gone.
Right. I mean, you know, if you're a pro player and like you can get to Legend with just like 130 games because you have such a high win rate, that's different. But you know, if you're not quite at that level of play, or you know, you don't have the like 6 to 8 hours a day to put towards grinding this, it's pretty intimidating.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So that's kind of, that's the biggest issue, I think, right there. And it doesn't have an easy fix at all. It's like, how do you, like, that is the gameplay of Hearthstone. Ranked play mode, basically. So, how do you overhaul that entirely?
Right.
It's just like...
Yeah, and it would be an overhaul. Like, it would have to be... I mean, I definitely think all of these 4 issues are very closely related to each other.
They are.
So whatever the fix is, it's probably going to have to fix everything.
Right. And well, that moves right into the next thing that he was talking about, basically, because a lot of people think that the fix is adding a new game mode, so that ranked play isn't the only thing that you can do. Because, you know, some people don't like arena, heroic tavern brawls are not a permanent thing. So the word that gets thrown around a lot for what people want to see is tournament mode.
Right.
Which... my understanding of that is essentially taking the open cup system, like where you generate a bracket and people play against each other in, you know, Swiss or whatever kind of game mode it is until you have a victor, and just integrating that right into the client.
Right.
And instead of having to go through things like Battlefy and these like third-party sources.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense, but let me just read what he said about it first. So he broke it down into 2 different kinds of tournament styles that he sees that Hearthstone could have. And the bracket open cup style one is one of them. And what he said is he feels that is only good for in-person. Like at Tavern Hero qualifiers, at Fireside gatherings. And then the second one, he used this interesting word called asynchronous tournaments, which basically he's saying you do not have to sit down and do the entire tournament in one sitting.
Right.
And what he points at as examples of these are Arena and Heroic Tavern Brawl.
Yeah, I mean...
And you can see what he's saying, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not a tournament, because there's not...
Isn't that just ranked at that point?
Kind of.
You know? Playing someone on equal footing.
Right.
I mean, I guess it's an isolated...
Right.
thing. Like
yes, it is isolated. Like if you get 12 wins, like you win Heroic Tavern Brawl, right?
Right.
I guess.
But do you win the tournament, you know? Like,
because it's not really a tournament.
Right, exactly.
And so like basically he was like I think there was this perception like at Blizzard that this like that Heroic Tavern Brawl was kind of the answer to tournament mode, and like this would scratch the itch for everyone. And I think they're realizing that it's not, because it's definitely not the same thing. People don't want to dump all that gold, you know? Well, that too, but it's mainly an issue of they're really entirely different. Like a Heroic Tavern Brawl and a bracketed tournament are not the same thing at all.
No, not at all. I mean, just the way like tournaments that I've seen, like like the BlizzCon tournaments, like you know who your opponents are and you know what decks they have and all that. Like those are like the key like tournament, like. That's where you draw your strengths, and that's where you create your strategy. That's where a whole nother element of knowledge of this game comes into play. Exactly. Knowing what classes to ban, knowing what decks they're more than likely bringing. Like even if their lists aren't public, which they're not in open cups, just knowing what could be in their deck, what archetypes, like that is the kind of thing that I think a lot of people are like wanting to be added into the game. Yeah. But I really don't think that they're going to. Because, he said he thinks it's only good for in-person, and he doesn't want people to have to set aside, like, their whole day to do it, which is something that a bracketed tournament would do. But, like, I couldn't figure out why that was such a big deal. I'm like, you already have, like, a huge portion of your HCT qualifying points allocated to open cups. People are already setting aside their whole day to do this stuff. Yeah. So what's different integrating it into the client? And I'm just like thinking, I'm like, why can't you do this? And it finally dawned on me. It's mobile. Right. That is what it is, because a bracketed tournament would never fly on mobile. Like, how can you integrate that all onto this tiny screen, first of all? Yeah. And then, like, say, you want to sign up for a tournament because you're in a long car ride and you're not the driver. You're like, I want to play in a Hearthstone tournament. We're in the car for 8 hours. I got this. Every time you lose data, like your data connection or something, you're like screwing with everyone else is playing. Yep. And like, it may seem like a small thing because like, if you remember when we started playing, Hearthstone wasn't even on mobile yet. That's right. Which is insane. I know. Hearthstone is, for all intents and purposes at this point, a mobile game. Like, more people play it on phones than on computer, and they're never going to allocate what's probably a massive undertaking to incorporate bracketing and reward system of tournaments play into a game that doesn't even support where most of the people who play the game play it. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And that's why it's not going to happen. I guess if you lose data or lose connection or have to drop out, then it would just be a loss or whatever. Right. But I mean, that would upset people, but that's also the risk you would take, going into it. But you have to it really does boil down to like we are the vocal minority on tournament mode. Yeah, this is not something that like probably something like 75+% of people would even care about who play Hearthstone. Yeah, no, I think that's probably accurate. Yeah. And them saying asynchronous, like I feel like that's the word that they're
that they're just like using as their cornerstone for whatever mode they're eventually going to add, it's going to have this same feel, this asynchronicity. It's not going to be something where you sit down and have to dedicate 8 hours or however long. It's going to be something that can be broken up.
Yeah, Blizzard always, well, not always, but in more recent years has been such a proponent of the single-serving gaming experience, you know? Yeah. You can sit down and you can play Overwatch for 10 minutes and then be done. You can sit down and play a game of Hearthstone. I
mean, why are they doing that? Because they're smart. Like, that is where gaming is gone. Yeah. That's where we're at.
Yep.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, as much as I would love to see the tournament mode button and just have all these open cups integrated right there so you can just see when they're starting, it's just going to have to remain probably how it is.
Yeah.
But he did say that they do know that the Heroic Tavern Brawls and Arena are not scratching the tournament itch, and that people still really want another button. They want something to press that's not ranked in Arena. And he said they're experimenting with crazier ideas.
Whoa.
So, I mean...
Calm down, Blizzard.
Who knows what that could be, but I can pretty much guarantee you it's not tournament mode, like bracketed tournament mode. I just don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, I want like co-op. I want a teamwork mode. I want like a two-headed giant where it's 2-on-2 with other players.
I think that'd be fantastic. Or like
a raid mode where you and a friend, like they used to do with the raid expansions. Mm-hmm. Is that what they were called? Were they called raids?
Adventures.
Adventures, yes.
The adventures.
Like that, but like with more than one player, and I've always really liked those tavern brawls where it's teamwork against the AI. I know Hearthstone's a player versus player experience for the most part, but it doesn't mean they can't make a fun just for like total shits and giggles, just because it would be fun. Make another game mode where it's more like PvE,
Right, or I mean. Even like you were saying, just having the option for co-op PvP.
Yeah,
2-on-2.
Yeah, so 2-on-2 would be freaking cool.
Now, the main problem with that is the lack of communication in the game. The inability to talk to people that you're playing with.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, that kind of adds a layer of, like, I don't know, fun and mystery, when you have to do those co-op tavern brawls with a stranger and you see your opponent just doing some weird shit and you're like... know what's going on, and then you're like, oh, I see what you were setting up. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it could still work.
Yeah, I definitely think it could be done. Like, I'm kind of envisioning like two portraits, like your portrait and your ally's portrait across from the two portraits you're playing at the same game board, and you, even though you have your own hands, like you can still only have 7 creatures on your board.
Yeah.
Even though you're both playing. So, it just, like, adds, like, some complexity. It's like, should I play this minion down and fill our board, or do they have something they want to play? I don't know, something like that. But I think that everybody really wants and expects a new mode. And hopefully they're going to come up with something mind-blowing that we can't even think of, and it's just going to just be amazing.
I think it's time.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. But that's basically all he really said on the subject.
Yeah.
But, so, how about that meta?
It's looking good. This is probably the most, enough said, most diverse meta we've probably ever seen.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. You're not, you can realistically play just about anything except Warlock right now. And you could realistically play against just about anything. And that's a good feeling. It's not just like Shaman and then the thing that counters Shaman.
Yeah.
Those were dark times.
We're never going to go back to that, hopefully. But we've mentioned how awesome the meta is right now, but I think you have like a renewed appreciation for it because you didn't play for almost like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I came back
and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Every week since Ungoro came out, the meta has just like broop, 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 just like expanded. Each tier within each tier of the meta has expanded. And I came back with like taking a week and a half off, and I looked at the tier list, and I was like, wow, there is like everything.
Yeah.
So it's Cool. I like it. This is ideal. This is how it should be, I think.
I agree, yeah. And new decks keep getting discovered. Not necessarily like brand new decks, but like twists on decks. Just like, because with only 30 cards, swapping out a few cards here and there drastically changes how a deck performs.
Yeah,
so you can see these little tweaks. Like, the aggro druid is pretty refined now. It's like running stuff that it never would have when it first came about, like the Tar Creeper to protect the smaller minions, and then you've got they called it the Meta Breaker, like token shaman that kills you with Bloodlust.
Yeah,
that's pretty savage deck right there.
Yeah.
And then Mage has seen another transformation of kind of going away from the whole like discover burn like Gunther Mage that was going around for a while, and now it's like this tempo secret mage that's running crystalline runners, which was like a card no one ever expected to see.
Right.
And it's a pretty crazy deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's super cool to see all this just shifting and fighting for supremacy, and it's a healthy, very healthy. It's like capitalism.
I'm still trying to figure out how I want to try to ladder this month. Like I'm kind of trying to lean towards like a slower, like I feel like Control might have like a small window here because everything's not quite as insanely like aggro. I mean, there is definitely a lot of aggro going on, but like with all the board wipes, I think you can control that. It was more like an issue with when Murloc Paladin was so insanely prolific, and they have like so many ways that their board can survive. They get their getaway Kodos with the secrets from the Murloc that discovers, and they got their Spike Ridge Steeds, and just like all these things they can just like get on board faster than you and kind of cheese you out. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm gonna try out some Control.
Yeah, do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
All right. So anyway, let's see what has been pissing us off this week. Now that we're both playing again, let's move on to our saltiest card.
Yeah, you gotta be kidding me!
Necessary? What? Really?
All right, you're up.
All right, this is definitely a card I think I even addressed in the Hearthstone video that I made on my main YouTube channel. How I was saying how much I hated Face Hunter, which isn't like the deck right now, but it doesn't change the fact that Unleash the Hounds is just a crazy card. I mean, it's basically like, my problem with it is that you have to fight for board supremacy against mid-range Hunter, or you're just going to get wiped out. And you've got to go wide sometimes, and you just have to pray that they don't have this. And if they do, like, you're probably losing that game, honestly. Like, because for 3 mana, it's just the board swing is insane. Like, you're just gonna get wiped out. If there's a Leok out there, or is it Timberwolf? I
don't think that's really seeing play right now, but I mean, they could get off Call or something.
But it has, yeah. And then they're all 2/1s, and it's just disgusting. Because it's just, because you're sitting there like, well, you're just damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Like, I can play it close to the chest and probably just get overrun by, these Houndmasters and these Savannah Highmanes, or I can, put all my chips down and, try to fight through this. And either way, if they've got Unleash the Hounds, you're pretty much fucked. So that's...
Yeah, I mean, it's a really specific kind of deck where you're running, like, Ancients of War and stuff. Like, just big minions, like taunt minions even, like can absorb all the damage but not make it go wide. Yeah, and I think the reason this card has generated so much salt for me in particular is because I play aggro so much that is my solution, is I have to flood the board, and then this shit happens. And that's it. Yeah, it's a super interesting card because the way I look at it is like, this is Hunter's AoE, right? Yeah. Like, this is the punish for you overextending on board, but the punish isn't getting, like, generating mad value by, like, destroying, like, 4 or 5 of your cards with one of theirs. It's punishing you for going wide on the board by just killing you. Like, they're just gonna run all those hounds into your face.
Yeah, it's like an aggro board wipe It's crazy.
It's the aggro way to punish going wide, which is very interesting. Like, I think, I mean, it's definitely powerful, but I think it's a pretty well designed card. Pretty cool.
It is. It definitely is. And this segment's not like this card's overpowered.
No. I'm just saying in general.
It's just like, this just fucking rubs me the wrong way sometimes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Trust me, dude. I've been blown out by this. The worst thing, though, is where you, like, kind of a little bit overextend, but, like, maybe hold back a little bit, and you're like, maybe they won't have the Unleash, but it won't be so terrible if they do.
Yeah.
And they use it, and you're like, whew, okay, we got through that. Now I'm going to spew out on the board and really gain control, and they've got the second one. Now that sends me through the roof.
The impending roar of Puppet Doom.
Yeah. It's just like, congratulations for drawing both of your Unleashed hounds.
Good job. You did it.
You're so good at this game.
Anyway, that's my salt.
All right. Well, my salt is kind of like a double-edged sword this week because I was just saying how I got my second Lightforge key with Priest. But man, Potion of Madness. I mean, it almost feels like blasphemy for me to be like saying a card for Priest is salty, but like this card is like kind of fucked up, right? Like, I think the reason it's really been bothering me lately is because I've been playing a lot of Arena. And in Arena, like, you get a lot of value out of, like, certain kinds of cards, like Gastropod, and, like, these, and, like, Unstable Elemental, and just, like, things that are low cost, low power, and high impact on the game.
Yeah.
And as soon as you see that you're matched against a Priest, like, all that shit goes out the window.
Yeah.
It's like, they may not have Potion of Madness in their deck. They may not have it. If they do have it in their deck, it might not be in their hand, but that doesn't matter. Like, you cannot play that stubborn Gastropod if it's going to screw you over.
Yeah.
And, like, there will always be an opportunity for them to abuse this card. Like, you just have to make it as small impact as possible. But, I don't know. It's just so crazy. Like, no single card in Priest makes me play the game more differently than when I'm thinking of Potion of Madness.
Right. And it is so cheap.
Yeah.
It's 1. Shadow Madness is 4.
I know.
And it's only 1. I mean, I know that 3 power opens up a whole new world of things you can steal, but still, this is 1 mana.
I mean, especially just the stuff that they added in Ngoro.
Yeah.
That can be hit by Potion of Madness in particular. That is enough just to make this card a little bit. It's too controlling on the Arena scene. I mean, in Constructed, it's just as bad to see. You know, whenever you see a Priest, you can pretty much assume that they're running this. And, you know, every deck's going to have minions with 2 or less attack, and somehow they're going to get used against you.
Oh, yeah.
It's just crazy.
It's dirty.
It makes me just, it feels bad just to have your minion taken, and you're just like...
It does. It's horrible. It's... Yeah.
But that being said, I love doing it to people, though.
Right. Very, very powerful effect.
Yeah. So that's my spiel on Potion of Madness. If you're playing in Arena, just watch out for this game.
Yeah. It'll get you.
He's bad to see. So we're gonna go on now to our card challenge segment, which, if you listened last time, we're doing a little differently. We're only gonna do the top 6 of the submissions that we got, and we picked a favorite submission too that we'll have up. I just wanted to mention that the point of the challenge isn't necessarily to make like the most broken card or anything. Actually, like the best thing to do is to try to make a card that could actually be put into the game, like that you could actually see play, but it's like really interesting. That's the kind of stuff that we're looking for. If you were ever thinking about trying one of our future challenges, so let's check out what we've got for this week.
Prepare yourself for the ultimate test!
Alright, up first, I will just remind everybody what our challenge was for last week, which was to take a card, take one word out of it, and put another word in. It didn't have to be in the same spot, it just one word out, one word in.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at Hylung's Dust Devil, which is 1 mana, 3/1, charge, overload 2.
Instead of Wind Fury.
Yeah, and this word would normally be Wind Fury on this card.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
I mean, I think you weren't going to play Dust Devil on turn 1 anyway when it had Wind Fury.
Right.
Because it's just going to die, and you're not going to play anything on turn 2 because you're overloaded.
Yeah.
So it's probably a little better since it's, the Dust Devil is like the easiest thing in the world to kill. Mm-hmm. So when it had Wind Fury, it just came out and died, or just never came out because no one played it because it was so bad.
That's more like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So with Charge, I mean, you could drop it on turn 1 and go face, but it's very likely going to die, and you're going to have a dead turn. But I think the fact that it has Charge gives it more options for shenanigans like Flame Tongue Totem and, Bloodlust and all that kind of stuff.
This is not a one drop. This is a combo card. This is not something you would ever play on 1. This is like the same reason that rogues run Stone Tusk Boar. It's so that they can jam you in the face for a ton of damage without you being able to react to it.
Yeah.
Like this is, you set up like a turn where you can drop, like you already have a Flame Tongue on the board, or you can drop him along with a Flame Tongue. But the main card that comes to mind is definitely Bloodlust. I mean, Bloodlust is only 5 mana. On 7 mana, you could throw both of these out in Bloodlust and get just absolutely obscene damage.
That's 12 damage if they're the only 2 minions out.
Yeah,
so
and they're not going to be because you're a shaman.
No, right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it would basically go into like that token shaman that tries to overrun you.
Yeah.
And just that non-reactionary damage from hand, we see a lot less of it nowadays, but I remember what it was like when that was a thing. So
the horrors.
It's pretty horrible.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know if it's overpowered or if it's.
I don't think so, because
hard
it's
to say.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, being overloaded for 2 on any turn is pretty bad.
Yeah.
And you have to do a lot, like build around this a lot, set up a lot to be able to use this in an effective way. So
yeah,
definitely an interesting card. And that's like was basically the point of this challenge, to like show how much a card can be changed just by changing one word.
Right.
So thanks for that one, Hylung. Let's move on to the next one. We have Hogger Doom of Elwyn from Dougie Fresh. And his Hogger reads, whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 2/2 null with Charge, which would normally be Taunt.
Yeah. So we have another keyword change here.
Keywords are a cool thing to change around.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And so I feel like this is good and bad, right? Because it's straight up worse if Hogger's taking damage on your opponent's turn.
Because you're just getting non-taunt nulls,
Yeah, exactly. And, that kind of screws over, like the scenario that comes to mind is, like, you throw this down, your opponent has 2 3/3s on board. If they still had taunt, they would be prevented from trading off your Hogger with those 2 3/3s. But now they don't.
Right.
On the flip side, though, when he takes damage on your turn, about 40 times better.
Yeah, you get bodies and they can do things. Yeah, like if you're a mage and you can ping it yourself, or if you are a warrior and you can, inner rage it, and then out comes a 2/2, and you can do whatever you want with that. Mm-hmm. So it's you could benefit from it on the same turn you played it if you played it on like turn 10. So it still has to like live if you're playing it on curve.
Right.
And in that situation, it's worse because its survivability is lower because it doesn't have the taunts protecting it. Mm-hmm. But if you can abuse it, then it's pretty powerful. Yeah,
actually, I mean, you mentioned Inner Rage. I mean, I actually think Warrior really would be the deck to abuse this card. I mean, just remember Patron Warrior.
Yep.
I mean, they're not 3/3s, but they have charge just implicitly. You don't need anything giving them charge. Yep. So you could pull off some craziness there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, super cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's a guy I like that one a lot.
Yeah, me too. So up next we have a card from Jesse Nash. Every Fin is awesome. Give your minions +2/+2. Costs 1 less for each minion you control, which would
minion
be
instead of Murloc.
Which this card's completely broken. Is
it? I don't know. I thought Every Fin was like pretty bad.
No, Every Fin saw some play.
Did it? Yeah. I could never get that card to work.
Right.
But I mean it is straight up better because it's all your stuff is getting +1/+1. I mean you could have put that in like the aggro shaman back in the day.
I mean, your totems count. I mean, you got fireflies, spirit wolves. Call in the finishers. I mean, it's funny enough that they're murlocs, but I mean, cause so many.
Yeah, and then this shit comes out on turn 4 or 5, and it's, permanent better Savage Roar.
Yeah.
So that's it's pretty toe up.
Pretty OP. You'd be seeing this being run right now in the the token shaman deck.
Oh my god, you would.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like goodbye Bloodlust, hello everything's awesome.
Because likely going to be much cheaper than Bloodlust.
Yeah, and I mean the +2 health is nothing to snub your nose at all.
Exactly, yeah, and you don't have to play it as a finisher. You just play it as a board swing. Like your board just becomes totally coked out at that point. Yeah. So,
all right, thanks Jesse. All right, next we have Delta Dragon with Twilight Geomancer. And Delta Dragon, you are one sick person, man. I cannot believe you.
This one's even did evil.
This. Twilight Geomancer, 2 mana, 1/4, taunt, battle cry. Give your Cthulhu poisonous wherever it is. You're a terrible, terrible person.
So the rules of poisonous it doesn't matter if it deals combat damage, as long as that minion's dealing damage, it's poison damage. So every minion just gets shot once and dies, and the rest goes to face. And
now, not only does that mean it's a guaranteed board wipe on every minion your opponent has, regardless of if they have Divine Shield, Stealth, whatever, this is hitting them and killing them. That also means that you're guaranteeing that every other hit goes to face.
Yes.
So, like, you're guaranteeing a board wipe and more face damage with the same card.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's busted.
Like, Cthulhu decks would be back on top.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like, Ramp Druid ramping to Cthulhu would just be the thing. Yep.
And you just need one of these, and... even if Cthulhu comes out as what is he?
He's a 6/6.
Without any buffs. He's a 6/6.
Yeah.
Even if he comes out as a 6/6,
which
he's
not going to be.
Which he's not gonna. Yeah. If he comes out as a 10/10, and Divine Shields would take 2 hits.
Yeah, they would take 2. I'm just saying, like nothing that a minion could have would prevent it from being
right. Yeah, as long as he had enough shots, which he probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Good job. Evil card.
Super, super evil. Thanks, Delta Dragon. All right, next we have Steph Vaughn with Mayor Noggenfogger. 9 mana, 5/4. No targets are chosen randomly.
I like this one. I like this one a lot.
I do too.
It's just, there's no current way Hearthstone would give you, like, the choice to do it. Like, if you played a Yogg-Saron with this guy out, and then, like, what's it gonna do? Like, present, like, the spell, and then give you the opportunity to, like, point an arrow at whatever. Like, there's just no in-game structure that will allow for this, but I still love the topic.
Love the fuck RNG aspect of this card, for sure. I see where you're going with it, but even just, like, how would casting arcane missiles look? Like, what would you do? Like, you'd click 3 times. Like, it's basically Hearthstone doesn't support this, but it's a super cool idea. I really like it. Like, imagine, like, dropping a Ragnaros on turn 8 and then him on turn 9. Like, you can just shoot whatever you want for 8.
Yep.
Like,
I guess it would just be like give you like a pop up and show like, what would you point your Rag would turn
like, what would you like me to shoot?
Yeah. What insect needs to die?
I love this idea. It's great. And last up, this was our favorite for this week here. We have Linuson's Onyx Bishop, which is 5 mana, 3/4, just like regular Onyx Bishop, of course. Battle cry, summon an enemy minion that died this game.
So instead of friendly, right?
Yes. I really like this idea. It's just, this is exactly like what I meant when I was saying pull one word out and put it in, changing the essence of the card.
Yeah,
and
completely.
That's exactly what this does entirely. It changes what kind of deck you'd want to run this in. The only thing I would say about it is that it actually makes the card weaker.
It does, because you're building around this, and you're creating a very specific pool of cards when it's in your deck.
Yeah.
But when it's dealing with all these token decks that exist right now, you're probably just gonna get like a 1/1.
Yeah, it's like, thanks for the healing stream totem. I really needed that.
Yeah. Maybe you could make him like 4 mana, and I don't even know if that'd be good.
I feel okay. If
3
mana,
mana,
3/4, you might be onto something. I think. Yeah, I mean, if that was part of the challenge, like you can change the cost. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But still, I really like this idea, and like Onyx Bishop has like for some reason like summoning an enemy, like bringing an enemy minion back to life feels like more evil to me than like bringing back your own. And Onyx Bishop's like he's got like this red magic, and he's he just looks sinister, and I feel like this even seems more like what he'd do.
Yeah. As far as the prompt is concerned, I feel like this is the best example.
Yeah. So, way to go, man. Super cool. Thanks, Lenison. So, let's go on to yours then.
All right.
Dookie with the 100% accurate Madame Goya picture.
Madame Goya. I don't really care about Madame Goya as a card, really, but I was just trying to find a card to change, and I saw Madame Goya, and I was like, that's kind of bad. Yeah. So maybe it could be kind of good. And I think overall, so instead of Battlecry choose a friendly minion, swap it with a minion in your deck, it's swap it with a minion in your hand. Mm-hmm. So it brings down the high roll potential because you can't just pull out something crazy, but it allows you, if you've got it in your hand, it allows you more control over the situation. Mm-hmm. So, you may not have your bomb, in which case this isn't good.
Well, it's a combo piece then. You just don't play it until you have it.
It is a combo piece. Yeah. It is a combo piece, right. So it takes more planning, it gives you more control, and it's less RNG, less high roll. So
yeah. I really like this, actually, and I don't think it's overpowered either, because she's so expensive for so little stats on the board that this just goes in a combo deck, period. And, combo decks have their own challenges, just you don't draw in the correct order, you don't get, you get your bomb way earlier than she comes, and you have to play it down for its max cost. There's just, all of the combo deck problems. I actually wonder if this was changed, if this would open up a new deck option. If Goya would open up something in the current meta.
It might, it very well could.
I feel like it could, too.
Yeah, I mean, you could... Well, it's 6 mana. You could get out a Tyrion early or something, or just like a Deathwing without the battle cry.
Mm-hmm.
My
head, cheating out a huge minion, my head always goes to Yasharaj, just because that guy's busted.
Yeah.
But I really like it. It's a cool idea.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, man. Way to go. Okay, so mine. This is actually the idea that kind of gave me the idea for the challenge. So mine is Alexstrasza, 9 mana, 8/8 dragon, Battlecry, set a character's remaining health to 15. When the text normally says set a hero's remaining health to 15.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're opening up is the option to make a minion's health 15.
Which priest can... Well, wait, this isn't a priest card, but you play priest.
Yeah. So he made a priest card, of course, right?
So, buff priest comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean, a 10 mana combo is Alexstrasza plus Inner Fire, so you've got that. Hitting someone for 15.
Yeah, no, that is very true. Inner Fire is 1 mana.
Priest would definitely like this. I mean, there's already an Inner Fire priest running around right now. But there are other things that you could do with it. I mean, healing minions is a good thing. You'll see decks, like Shaman decks, that include Jinyu Water Speakers for face healing. You'll see them very often heal their minions with it. Because healing minions, allowing them to do more value trading is incredibly valuable.
For sure.
And so I was thinking of, Alexstrasza is kind of like a heal. But it's the only heal in the game that you can't point at a minion. Well, not the only heal, but it's
one of the only ones,
One of the only ones that you couldn't point at a minion. And there's so many times, I've been playing a deck where I'm like, man, why can't my Alexstrasza just heal this minion,
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I got the idea.
Yeah, no, I like it. I don't think it breaks it
Yeah.
But it's better, obviously. You have more options.
Options are better, right?
Yeah, options are always better.
Yeah, I think generally it's going to still be better to hit a hero with it just because of the massive effect that has.
I don't. You'd be surprised. I don't know. I haven't run a lot of decks with Alexstrasza in it, but I feel like every time I do, I sit there with it in my hand and I'm like, when do I do this? And the opportunity just like never presents itself, and I'm just like, do I just want to throw out this 8/8 body and do a not really effective thing with health? But that gives you the option to play out Alexstrasza like whenever the hell you want.
Right.
It used to be like, I'll just make one of my minions big as shit.
Yeah.
And get my 8/8.
Yeah.
So
I agree. That was my thinking on that. So
No,
thanks to everybody who submitted. If we didn't read your card out, it's nothing personal, but send one in next week.
Yeah, and, we get a lot of submissions now, so we gotta we had to. You already said if you submit multiple. Did we talk about this?
Oh no, we did not. We did not talk about that.
We should
you
address.
go. You take it.
Yeah, so if you want to submit multiple cards, you can, but we'll only be picking one, if any,
right.
of your submission. So it's fine if you want to submit multiple.
Yes. So, speaking of submitting in the card challenge, what is next week's, Dookie?
I'm torn between two that I want to do.
All right. Want to bounce them off me?
All right. There was the weapon one and the poisonous one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I had that idea for a poisonous minion that we were talking about.
Yeah.
But I also just think weapons are cool, and you could make weapons for... let's do weapon. Let's do...
Okay.
Design a weapon. It can be for classes that don't have weapons. It can be a gun, like whatever you want to do. Doesn't have to... It doesn't have to be a... doesn't have to be
Actually, there is a gun. Piranha launcher.
Yeah, there are guns. Yeah,
Iron Forge Rifleman has a gun.
Yeah, they're guns. So, it could be neutral. I'm just throwing ideas out there. So whatever you want to do, just make a weapon. And all guidelines for these are usually going to be like something that could be in the game. So if it's if it's really busted and funny, that's fine, but the challenge is to make a real Hearthstone guy. I mean, if it can be funny, but if it's a well-designed card, that's really what matters. So you can put your...
Don't worry, we're still gonna throw out challenges like design a meme card. That's still gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm rambling. Okay, but if you're like, all right, here's my submission, 9mm and
golden PPK from 007.
But it's a totally balanced and usable Hearthstone card, then it's totally valid.
Yeah.
But if you're like, well, I made, Rusty Stick as my card, and it's just not a card that would ever be in Hearthstone, then...
1 mana 10/10 weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, Rusty Stick. But yeah, so that's a challenge. Make a weapon.
All right. Sounds good. I think that about does it for our show today, though. Thanks to everybody who came to check out the live stream. Thanks to everybody who's watching us in the VODs or listening on wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoy the show, we would really appreciate it if you take a second to leave us a nice review. It helps when people are trying to find our show on all these various platforms that you can listen to these things on nowadays.
Those thumbs up, those 5 stars, and... Yeah. Whatever other rating systems there are.
Absolutely. And absolutely keep sending us your card submissions. We love getting them. Also, if you ever think of something for like a Q&A, that's something that we're still going to have for the show. If you have any questions you want to ask us, please tweet those at us, or you can email us at saltydogpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. Also, submissions on Twitter at saltydogpodcast.
Yes. Always on Twitter.
That always helps. Just keep things organized.
Yes, absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us again, and we will see you next week. Till then, stay salty.
Stay salty.